All right, guys, so make sure you've done your 10-minute warm-up, and then I'm going to break down this amortization with you. Do you guys even know what amortization is? No. Okay, so an amortization table is a schedule of how much you paid and when, and what it all goes to. So I'm going to open up this first. Okay. Really, really important that you only change the stuff in the green boxes. If you change anything else, you will mess it up. And you'd have to download another copy. So I've done a couple of things for you. So one is I made it so this right here, it tells you how much interest you're paying on the life of the loan. So how much does this house cost? How much are we looking at for this house? What's our starting price? Exactly. That's how much the house is. Now let's look how much we would pay if it was only $100,000. See how the interest is now only $61,000? Okay. Now this interest rate, I picked 3.5 because that's about the average for the last year. Now that is very variable. They will advertise really low interest rates, and by they I mean various banks and lenders. They'll advertise like 1.75, 2.4 or whatever, and let me show you what would happen. Let's go over to the 150,000. That's the median home in our area. Now 3.5 is average for most people taking out loans in the last year or so. I got that from my banker. I asked her. So it's not available online. Now, they're going to advertise things like 2.75%. Now, watch how that changes. See how that just changing that interest rate saved you like almost $30,000? That's a lot, right? The thing is, this interest rate, how they determine your interest rate is based on your current credit, your payment history, and how much your down payment is. I bought a house this summer, and my sister also bought a house this summer. She's doing better than I am financially, and they were able to put 20% down plus pay extra on top of that to get a lower interest rate. So you can buy a lower interest rate. So 3.5 is what we're going to use. Now this is automatically calculating for you what you'd be paying every month. This is assuming you don't have to pay PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, and there's like 12 other factors, but this is just pretty simple. Now what happens? Look how much interest I have paid right now, right? So I'm going to write that down for myself. $92,282.70. And I'm going to press this little button right here that says $. Okay. Now I'm going to change, how much extra do you think you could pay every month? What could you squeeze out of your budget? Do you think you could do $10?
Yeah.
Okay, if we do $10, how much interest did that save us? About $3,000, right? Okay, so that's $3,000 less you pay overall. What if you did $100? That just saved you $30,000. Sorry, $21,000. Follow me? What if you did, pick a number smaller than 1,000 and bigger than 100?
999.
Okay, 999. Look how much interest you pay total. Only 25,000 roughly. So that just saved you a whole lot of money. You follow me? So paying this off earlier, paying extra towards your mortgage, saves you money. Now let's understand how this works. So this is your starting balance. This is what you paid. So it takes your monthly payment and how much you're adding to it and puts it there. So let's put this back to 0. You with me? So this is how much you paid in a month, and then it shows you what part, they take this and break it into 2 pieces. This is what's getting spent on interest, and this is how much is going to principal. Now, principal is how much you borrowed. So after your first payment, only $236 is paying down your principal. The rest is going to interest. So about double is going to interest. Does that make sense? Now, as you go down, then they take however much you paid and they subtract that from how much you started with owing, and that's your ending balance. And then as you go down, it adds up all the interest you've paid ever so far. And I'm going to go to, okay, so in about, I'm looking for where they're equal. Okay, they're pretty equal here between, okay, this is pretty equal. They're 1 penny apart. So after 10 years, 10 1/4 years, your payments are roughly cut in half, where half goes to principal, half goes to interest. And that's the tipping point, because then more and more and more starts going to principal. So remember, this is our principal column instead of our interest column. You know what I forgot to do is I forgot to freeze the rows. If you guys give me 1 minute, I will go in and freeze the rows on my original copy of this so that you guys, when you scroll, it'll hold it for you. Enjoy. This stone, yeah. Okay. View, freeze, up to current row. Okay. So this is my copy. And what I did, I just froze. Yeah, I don't care. I just froze these top ones so that when I scroll, the labels are staying for me. Does that make sense?
How do you do that?
I already did it for you. Or do you want me to show you how? I clicked this row right here. I went up to, so I clicked the row that I wanted everything above it to stay frozen. And then I went to view, freeze, up to current row.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're going to do now is there's a bunch of questions on the assignment for you to try out and stuff. And we really just want to see, the idea is you just need to learn how to read this table, what it means, because when you, let's say that you're looking at loans, you've already put an offer at a house, you have a house you like, and you're just working with your banker to work out the details of how much down payment can you really afford at that moment, how much do you need to keep aside to pay for moving, new furniture items, fixing things in the house, because there's always stuff to fix, and what loan option is going to give you the best terms, what's going to be best for you long term. So when you're doing all of that, you want to be able to look at this, and if you jump to the end, how many months are in, I'm going to 360. So, there we go. So 360 months is how many months are in 30 years. And you can see over the life of the loan, you're going to pay $92,000 in interest. That's a lot, right? So even just paying, my goal right now is to pay an extra $500 a month. That takes me from $92,000 to $38,000. That's like $50,000 savings. Wouldn't you do that if you could?
Yeah.
So that's the idea here. Now let's say that you have a goal to pay it off in 15 years. You don't want to change this because the term of the loan changes how much interest you pay over the course of it. So watch what happens if I change this to 15. Okay, so that means that I would be paying $42.15.61. But that's if I make the deal with the bank to change it to 15. Does that make sense? Whereas if I just pay early, let's say $400, I'm looking for where this says, well, we're looking for where it says 0 in the starting balance. Did we put this back? Oh yeah, 400 is good. Okay, so almost, right? I want to do it just a tiny bit more so that we get 0 at the 15 mark. You follow me? Almost. So close. I'm gonna take it. Okay, you with me?
405.
You can do 4 or 5. They're close in interest, but do you see paying it early actually saved you about $1,000?
Mm-hmm.
So similar, but not the same. That's pretty much it.
When you pay like an extra 500, you have to like tell them to make it towards principal.
A lot of times, yes. Good question. Some loans have an early payment penalty where if you pay early, it just pays off the interest that they were expecting to get over the life of the loan anyways.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, you pay early.
If you pay early, so some loans, when you pay early, you can have it set up that it automatically goes to the principal. So it's paying that amount down, and that's what you're getting charged interest on. So paying that down faster means you pay less interest over the life of the loan. So it can save you thousands of dollars. Okay? But some loans have a early payment penalty where they're expecting to make $100,000 on you in interest and get paid back $150,000. Does that make sense? So what they'll do is when you pay early is they'll put it against the interest, or they may even charge you a fee for paying early instead of letting you pay down that principal and pay them less.
Do they have to tell you that before you?
They do have to tell you if there's an early payment penalty, but a lot of times it's in the document, the contract you've done, and you may not know it. So you definitely want to ask the banker that you're working with what if there's any early payment penalties, if it automatically goes to principal, if you have to negotiate that, how that works. And so I worked with my banker. I don't have an early payment penalty, but I do have to specify that any early payments go towards principal and not towards my next payment, not towards interest. It goes towards principal. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of mortgage companies, they'll set up the bank will set up your mortgage, but then they will hand it off to a third-party mortgage management group. So that bank is no longer running your mortgage. The person you're working with is no longer running the mortgage. Somebody else is running the mortgage, and you have to work with them, which can be quite annoying. But that's pretty much it. Let me show you the assignment that you need to fill out. Modules. So you're going to go down amortization. Now let me know if that link isn't working. I literally had to rewrite everything because it wasn't letting some students access the spreadsheet and it wasn't letting them change. You can't get it? Okay.
I can make a copy.
Yeah, make a copy. Okay. So explain to me what amortization is. Make sure you're putting your explanation underneath so it's easy to read. Answer these questions. They should be really simple numbers. Then you're going to find houses that you think are cool. You can find one crazy house. Has to be less than $500,000 and needs to be in the area. I gave you an example. I think this one's pretty. I'm looking to see that the price is on there. Okay. This price number is the only number you need. I want a picture. You're going to put your screenshot into the document, just like mine is. Then you're going to answer these questions. What's the house price? What would your monthly mortgage be? So this one, what's my price?
$384.
See how that's $384?
Yeah.
Come to my amortization table, put it in. I don't care if it's too small, go away. I'm trying to click and it won't let me. Okay, what if I did $384? What's wrong with that? Do I really only need to pay $1.72 a month?
You put 1,000.
Yeah. Exactly. So now what's my monthly payment?
1,224.
Good. See how that gives me my monthly payment? Okay. How much interest am I going to pay over the whole loan? Well, that's easy. I'm going to need to, sorry, I'm trying to get it. No, that's your interest rate. We want this one right here. That's a lot of interest, right?
236,243.
Uh-huh. That's like a whole house in interest, isn't it? So that would go there. Cost of the home, including interest. So you're going to take the house price plus the interest, and that gets how much it's going to actually cost you out of pocket to buy that house. Make sense?
Do we need to put a picture of where we found the house?
Yeah, I want a picture like this. Screenshot.
Okay.
Screenshot me.
And where do we put it? Like all the way at the bottom?
Well, look, screenshot, you just paste it right here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, screenshot, paste it right here. So you're gonna find two different houses. One, you're gonna look for a less expensive one, hopefully below 150. This is a starter home you're looking for, less than 150. Then you're gonna try to find one that's somewhere between 150 and 500,000, like a dream home. Does that make sense?
The first one is that the 150.
You can put it. So you got a starter home, which is 150 or less, and a dream home or a someday home, which is 150 to 500. So the first one is your someday home. So dream. Pick a dream.
Okay.
The second one is your starter home, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead and work on that.
What is the word for this table?
Pardon?
Well, what is the word?
Amortization table. It is a schedule of how your mortgage payments are applied towards your principal and your interest. It shows your current equity value as well as how, pardon?
Mortgage table.
It just shows you what your, so do you know what a mortgage is?
Yeah.
Okay, so your mortgage is what you pay instead of a rent every month to pay off that loan.
Okay.
So it's showing you that mortgage, what it's going towards. It's showing you it's going towards principal and interest. And it's showing you how much you have left of each. Okay, good.